Music has wound up. Stream is live.
Yippee.
Get chill music going on in the background.
Okay, well. Well, now I have the opposite problem.
All the problems. Welcome to problems, everybody.
That is still there. It's on top of my controls.
What's on top of your controls?
The ad.
Yeah.
We're gonna fuck around with that later.
Did you have it on the left side of the screen? Because it looks like my code only works on the left. Anyway, welcome.
Yeah.
Magma's doing weird stuff. Look, some websites. I posted Christmas card making video to Patreon earlier today, and thus made part 2 of the Curse of Isis highlights live. And I was reminded that for some reason that I do not understand, Patreon just doubles the contents of posts in the HTML. Like, I used to copy the HTML of a page just to stick it into my own website, and it started just doubling it for some reason. So all of it's in there twice. And that's particularly noticeable when I go onto a post on Tumblr for a video, because you can hear the video playing twice. One of those versions you can't see and turn off. But it's there.
That's really stupid.
What I'm saying
disappointed, but not surprised.
No one knows how to make a website. This is what I've discovered. Opening up the inspector in any what you would think of as professional website will come up with so many errors. YouTube's quite good for that. Because I have to open that to throttle the bandwidth, because it wants to eat all of my internet when I upload a video. And so I'm just left with a wall of errors while looking at... Sorry, I got distracted by looking at the pictures you posted. Okay, so yeah, it looks like the actual element on the left isn't being hidden. But the resizing's working.
Yeah.
So the first part is the bit that's supposed to hide it. So you just have to look.
I didn't grab all the code. I'm gonna just double check that real quick. Don't mind me.
That's working for me. Hopefully you can find out what classes you need to hide. Just clicking on it with the inspector. It's not particularly well obfuscated in this instance. Also, here's a Catman. I don't know why I drew a Catman, but it looks more like a cat than any of the cats I normally draw, so I'm quite pleased with it.
Good. No windows, no possible entry.
Hi, Lestrade. Also, hi, Miss. How's the miss? Hope the miss is doing good. Crumble, mumble, flamble. Well, here.
when I use uBlock's element picker to select that element and then make it go away, then the CSS will work. I will fuck around with that later.
Customize your online experience. Hi, Bet. Been watching Poirot, so it's not been awful. We've had Poirot on here as well. Some very, very early ones.
Hilariously enough, I'm gonna need to like finagle a few things, but that's actually on the list of things I could like potentially get saved onto my stuff to use for hangout watch times.
Poirot. Heck yeah.
Cartoons to detectives.
Is it the Poirot anime? Wasn't there an anime of Poirot? Or was it Miss Marvel? Can't remember.
I believe the one I've got access to is... Oh, I'm about to forget the guy's name. The live action that, like, is held up as the, yes, this is the...
David Suchet.
Gold standard.
Yeah, Saturday Poirot. Nathan Drawfee drew an anime Poirot. Ooh. David Suchet.
Yeah, this is the one that started in 1989.
Sounds about right.
British Mystery. So I could move that around, and we can add that to my growing list of things that I have just saved around for us to watch.
Yes, I saw you were having fun watching the Mighty Ducks or whatever it was.
Yes, Mighty Ducks.
Which I was technically there for, but wasn't because I was actually getting work done for once.
That's fair.
It's so fussy. Yeah.
I won't say that you missed anything like groundbreaking because mostly just a bunch of silly nonsense.
But I do like silly nonsense.
And some lampshade hanging.
Many duck puns. Boo! How did I miss puns? He fell asleep during it. Clearly captivating. Yeah, I like his little shuffle. Poirot's little shuffle, specifically.
It wasn't until multiple hours after we watched it that I realized one of the duck's last name is L'Orange. As in sauce, i.e. duck sauce.
Duck à l'orange. Classic. Weirdly tired on Saturday. I mean, been weirdly tired for a month. January. But luckily
January's hibernate.
now it's February, so everything's changed. By which I mean it's been grey and raining all day.
Like, as far as I'm concerned, it's still hibernation month. Like, the only bright spot in February is the day after Valentine's because you can get really cheap chocolate from the store.
It's February. I should draw a February. I'm choosing this month to attempt to embody the character of the month. Because I really need to get on the hustle. Need to actually do some business. So I'm gonna embrace the February. Hey, did you know I got commissions open? I didn't today. Today was chill. I finished the newsletter, which is available. which has comics and doodles and stuff.
Oh shit, it is. Yeah, bet it is February now.
Yeah. Clean those words. He's a cutie, you wish you could hug him? I wish he could hug you too. By the way, where is the way and what do people keep leaving things by it? I can speak. Keep forgetting to say I was looking at it the other day. I am on 10 toes.
The suspension is killing me.
They said just before the bridge collapsed. Yeah, I put that in there just for you, miss. I had £1 for every time I put a tie in something explicitly for Miss. I was doing really well with chins. Not doing very well with chins anymore. It's all gone wrong. I don't know what I'm doing.
Mood.
So I'll go and belly up. And I have £3, yes. Not bullied. There just happens to be a surprising number of instances in my highlight videos of somebody having a tie wobble. It's an Easter egg at this point. Yeah, whatever, it's a little cat. What else do I draw? We have faces going on. And a cat with a sparkler. Or a dandelion. What are dandelions but nature's sparklers?
I mean, Miss, you can always make a little list of like, hey, we're going on a scavenger hunt. Here's all the things to look for in Crest's videos
That'd be silly.
that have driven me insane. I, however, will not be participating in any sort of take a shot when Crisp does X because, one, I don't like the taste of alcohol, and two, I have a feeling there's a very easy way to pick something that will make you just expire.
I do not condone drinking to excess, but I'm sure we can come up with replacements. Do a stretch every time you see something like that. I'm glad you liked it, miss. Take a shot every time I sing "Hello, my baby." As Cheeb commented on that on the second part of the video about that, and reminded me that I actually cut a few out for time. There were so many in that playthrough.
I mean, it doesn't help that it was very easy to get away from the camera in that.
Yes, I can give you 97 examples of it.
Like, I can think of some games where there's things where it's like, oh, we're in this spot and the camera, you can't see where you are from that camera. I mean, obviously it mostly comes up if you've got either fixed camera angle games or a moving camera that is jank as hell. But a lot of those, it's a like little secret nonsense. Like there's some of the Final Fantasies where there's if you sort of know where you're going, go into this and there's this back alley, and if you click around a bit, there's a secret item in here. So like, that's on purpose. Or they made it on purpose, or they did something on accident and then went, cool, we're gonna make use of this now. Something like that. You know what I mean. Words are hard.
Words are hard. They're so hard, I have nothing else to say. Getting reference for things. I think Battle Bear would agree about words being hard. Oh yeah, they find words so easy.
I think, having known many authors, I think both of them would also agree that words are hard.
No, it's so easy for them. That's why they're authors.
Yeah, so many words, and absolutely none of them are the one they want.
Who is this? I'm doing a little bit of homework. In our Crooked Moon RPG, my character Saltarello has the ability to summon an invisible summoned an invisible assistant, essentially. And I remembered in the video that I made Saltarello in, they had an assistant called Trasconi. There they are. And I thought it would be nice to have a little bit of art of them so that we can have a token in the game. This is a kind of mindless ghost version of Trasconi, so they're not looking in the best of shape, but... They're cutie, yeah. But I also get to draw 3 silly ghosts, so I'm going to do that as well.
Do they go around and pester bankers around Christmas time?
I'll have to look up the rules. I can't remember what they are. One of them's grumpy. One of them I think is a... I can't remember. I think one of them's an annoying kid or something. Basically, I can, as part of my ghostly bard nonsense, I can whistle and summon some ghosts to basically annoy people. I have ghost muppets, exactly.
I mean, you could just draw them as Muppets.
Could do.
Have
I mean,
that power.
the style of the things we've seen so far in Crooked Moon have been very cartoony. So, well, some of it's been cartoony. The ghosts have been cartoony. The NPCs, we met a bunch of NPCs last time. And they were sort of heightened realism, but you can imagine people looking like that. One is Statler and Waldorf, one is Heimdall. Oh, for anybody who was not at the stream yesterday, we did get the new special heckle command.
Scared the hell out of me.
Which may have made Ragdoll jump. And if we get it today, it'll make you jump as well. Wesker Wesley. Yes, Wesley from Last of the Summer Wine. Insert other...
What are you even doing?
Ooh, faces. Bear's making faces again. Bear's making faces at me.
Well, make a face back.
What if ghosts? Hang on, I'm going to look up what ghosts I need. It's the fastest way of doing this. Opening the PDF and searching, I guess.
Yeah. Control F ghost.
Well, it's helpful actually because the word is haint, not ghost.
Yeah.
I don't know where the word haint comes from, but... Handy haints. The Grump, the Sadsack, and the Scamp. That's what they're called. So, I mean...
Apparently it's a specific kind of ghost in... This says Southern folklore.
No, miss.
Oh, okay. So apparently it's like... it's a type of ghosty spirit out of, like, Louisiana-style hoodoo. So that's fun.
Fun.
Also, technically, now that I think about it, since one of them you said is the scamp, right? Like small child running around, you could
yeah.
just make them a bed ghost.
Make them a what, sorry?
A bedsheet ghost.
Could do. I was going to lean in with the Muppet idea and have the Grump actually be Statler or Waldorf.
works too.
A dog named Scamp. You want me to add a dead dog to the game? Rude. Yes.
I mean, technically you already have Wimble, who you keep drawing as a dog.
It's supposed to be a lizard. I'm not good with animal skulls. It's not a crisp game if you're not killing dogs. When have I killed dogs in a game? I mean, technically yesterday, but they weren't dogs. They were bechamels. I can't remember what they were called. Always killing dogs and then saying technically when you point it out. That may be true. I do not have a good enough memory to disprove it.
I mean, every single case I can think of like having to kill a dog or dog-like thing, like wolves or whatnot, or in games where they've been set up as like animals that attack you, in which case the better question is, why do so many games have dogs as enemies? Because like I vaguely remember, and I don't remember what they're called. There were like monster wolf enemies in like Bloodborne. And they made the worst noises when you killed them.
Well, that was boring.
Wow, rude to Ragdoll. Yeah, if you're gonna put dog enemies in a thing, don't make them whine.
Yeah. I kind of liked what Valheim did, where it's like, yes, the wolves are technically enemies, but also you can like tame them and then just like flood areas with wolves that you've tamed and bred.
Yeah. Oh, the crows, yeah.
It's Marley and Marley.
It's Marley and Marley. Whoa. Yeah, I'm in need of a Sadsack and a Scamp. They're the ones that have available spaces. Sadsack and a Scamp. Malachi. Be a Scamp?
I mean, I do still think the Scamp would be very funny to have it be just like a very obvious small figure with a bedsheet thrown over their head.
Two in one. He's most of the time not a Sadsack. Yeah, I quite like the idea. Let's do that. Prospero's daughter, but you don't know if you want her to be a ghost. I mean, the implication of being in Crooked Moon is that you died, so Saltarello died. I may have improvised them dying by a piano falling on their head, but, you know. Yeah, so with the child ghost is always the worrying one, isn't it? Never want to think too hard about that.
Yeah. There's a couple of stories in the Witcher sort of extended canon where it's like, oh, there's a the ghostly type thing here, and it's like, this is a dead child. Including the one that most general fans are probably aware of, because more people, I think, have played the games than read the books. There's one in the game where it's like this is the ghost of a stillborn child that was just sort of buried in a hole to hide the fact that it existed.
Yay! Glad they put that in the game.
Would you believe me if I said that's not the darkest thing to come up in that game?
Sure. I mean, if they're going to go that far, they might as well go all the way.
And in the defense of the guy who just sort of went, oh no, and buried it, bit panicky at the time, and when he realized sort of what had happened, very distraught about it.
Yeah. Saltarello isn't a cute little kid? How dare you? They are, in my opinion, at least one of those things. Also, I like the idea that this is Mira, but it's not like Mira died. It's that she like got her hands on a weird book or something and can commune with the ghosts and becomes a ghost in the ghost world. Like, ooh, I'm here now. Ooh. Just having fun. Ooh, face is coming on well. sad faces. And a dog. There's a dog.
Yeah, it would be just sort of funny for Mira to get a hold of a thing where it's like, this isn't dead Mira, this is just sort of projection of Mira who's just sort of goofing off.
Yeah. Go for the classic. Patches on the bed sheet. Yeah, she found a sheet that made it so she could fly and be incorporeal. Hero is stressed. Chippy will adopt a Mira has plot armor when summoned. I don't think they can be targeted. They basically just help. They fly around people going, you can do it, or whatever. The scamp delights and invigorates your allies.
So she's now the team cheerleader.
Yeah. The Grumps, which this is Statler and Waldorf, they harangue your allies to do better. So they literally heckle. And the Sadsacks just depress your enemies. So that's the one I gotta work out.
Character do you even have that would work for that? What character do any of us have that would work for that? Because like the only thing coming to mind as far as like, oh, this is just a very depressed character is actually just Eeyore.
Yeah. It's my Invisible Man. I'm not bringing Griffin to this. Nor am I bringing a Griffin to this. I'm trying to think of depressed, like, I guess the depressed character I have is Jan, but Jan's sort of much too cheerful to other people to be a drain on them. Luna? Kay walks up to the enemy and whispers his backstory to their ears. They wouldn't work if they're not, you know, susceptible to empathy. The sad sack. I could just do a literal sad sack.
You just draw a sack and give it a sad face. Mr. Potato Man energy.
Do I have an energy vampire?
Uh-oh, you've awakened something in Miss.
Yep. Well, time to get some Hessian sacks and make gifts for friends. Go get food! Kick that rice cooker into shape.
I mean, if you kick it too hard, it'll definitely be an A shape. Probably not one that's conducive to doing rice. See, now I'm trying to think if there's any, like, depressed Muppets that would work. I mean, Kermit is functional, is a functional depressed. Also, I don't know if he's necessarily depressed so much as he's just sort of given up all hope of corralling a bunch of theater kids, which, you know, fair.
You say giving up all hope, apparently it's coming back.
Look, just because the theater is running doesn't mean it's not running on just, like, duct tape and shoestrings. At best, it's an organized chaos, where you just sort of get out of the way. Yeah, Big Bird's, I wouldn't call depressed. Big Bird is a toddler, literally. And Gonzo has an on and off love affair with a chicken, so... Elmo is also a small child. Like, it's actually kind of funny. If you go through, like, the Sesame Street Muppets, most of the long-standing ones have, like, a particular age range developmentally that they're supposed to sort of model. As far as, like, the audience place holder or audience surrogate, as it were. Yeah, most of the Muppets, like, some of them are very, like, dramatically upset about things, but can't really think of a Muppet that I would point at them and go, that's a depressed man.
I will draw more for you, miss. Look, it's 2026 now, I can make new OCs. And my first new OC is this, a sack. What's Mira's hair like?
When in doubt, make puns. Yeah, no, the closest I can come up with is maybe Oscar the Grouch, but he's less depressed and more just cranky.
Yeah. Yeah, annoyingly, the two main parts of Mira's hair are at the back and right in the middle, and that's all covered by sheet, so it's difficult to...
Cut a hole in the
telegraph.
sheet.
Did she have a hat, or is that just Pero? I imagine she has a hat, but not as part of the normal design. This is what we're talking about, by the by.
Crisps, small child character.
Yeah.
And her father.
Did I ever mention how that was made? Or why I came up with them? Because Avonvale is...
My brain wants to say that they're based off of something from a Shakespeare play, but that might just be me mixing some things.
Their names are, yes. It's, I believe from The Tempest, Prospero and Miranda. That's where I got the names Pero and Mira. Because the abstract idea is basically there weren't enough, in my opinion, there aren't enough good positive representations of fathers and daughters. Generally speaking, if there's a father-daughter relationship in a piece in something fictional, it's usually something bad going on. But it was specific.
Or sexist.
Yeah. But specifically, it was inspired by somebody I used to be in a band with. We would, he was very quiet and he could always make me laugh with the guitar, which is a surprising skill, but consistent. And he was always sort of quiet and didn't really talk about family life and stuff like that. But when the lockdowns happened for COVID, we started doing band meetings over Zoom, and I got to see him interacting with his kid, and it was just sort of lit up. It was just so wholesome to see him just lighting up around his little daughter. And it's like, why don't I see that in fiction? It was just so nice to see. And Avonvale is wish fulfillment, so I get to make it myself.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. The fact that in, semi-mild spoilers, but in Sabriel, you're starting out with, Sabriel going off and trying to figure out what the hell happened to her dad. But it isn't, absentee father thing, because when I was reading Left-Handed Booksellers of London, she's also trying to find her dad, but she's got, no idea who this man is. Just complete absentee father. With Sabriel, you get the feeling that she and her father had a fairly close relationship. He was around and he did help her and teach her. It's just also, it's cool, you are not going to be safe here. We're going to send you to boarding school and I'm going to visit very frequently. But yeah, there's others I can think of where that's just not a thing. one of the fantasy stories that I read as a kid, Song of the Lioness by... Oh, crap, what's her name? The name is going to escape me, and I'm going to have to look it up later so it doesn't annoy me. But anyway, fantasy setting. We've got girl going off to be a knight, and her brother is also going off to do, like, learn wizard nonsense. But it's very clear from book 1 that these two do not have a close relationship with their father. To the point of that, like, they're able to convince people that he just, like, can't distinguish between the two of them, just with how distant he is with them. And I believe he ends up dying of old age just sort of off screen. And it's just sort of oh, well, yeah, that's upsetting, but also, like, what did we lose? We lost a man who, like, did not stand to any of us.
That's depressing.
Yeah. Now, granted, it's been a hot minute since I've read those books, but, like, So, part of the story of Song of the Lioness is that Alana is going off to night school, but that's not a thing girls can do as of yet, where the storyline is. So, but her brother was supposed to be going off to night school, despite the fact that he very, very clearly wants to go learn wizard stuff. And their father just ignored that. So it's like, cool, daughter's gonna go off to learn how to be a lovely young lady, and son's gonna go off to be a knight. Despite the fact that the son is very much a huge nerd and wants to be an academic, and the daughter is very much a rough and tumble sort, so, like, is not going to survive very long in, like, prim and proper young ladies school. So they hatch a plan where basically she goes in place of her brother, and I don't remember the exact shenanigans they pulled to make it so that the brother can go off to the wizard school, but I think it sort of worked out because the wizard school and the ladies' school were, like, close enough that basically they were able to pull no, he just confuses us all the time, and just fucked up real bad with putting the names down. I can think of one sort of, but that's a little weird. In the Acorna books, she has a pretty good relationship with her parents when they come back into the picture from being brought back from the dead. Don't worry about it. And she is very close with her adopted dads. To the point that they, like, break multiple, like, intergalactic laws to try and keep her safe. Yeah, a lot of the others I can think of are either daughter and mother, son and father, or if it's a daughter and father, there's a certain level of antagonism between them.
Yeah.
Or the daughter is used as a plot device. Because we gotta make the man angry.
Yeah, I'm sure it's representative of something. Some sort of systemic problem, but I don't know. I've seen counterexamples firsthand. So I want there to be counterexamples in fiction, gosh darn it.
Yeah, that's fair. And I guess I should just make that clear. All the stuff that I was thinking of was fictional instances of. I know plenty of people who have close relationships with their dads. It's just... Oh, maybe Inkheart. That one's a little... interesting, though. We'll list that as provisional. I mean, that's not a bad goal.
Read a book with a nice father-daughter relationship in it. Yee. Well, you'll love my forthcoming Avonvale novella. Avon Novellaville. How do you render ghosts? I don't know. Also, best of luck with that.
Yeah. Time to start looking through book lists.
Yeah.
Find some recs.
Share recommendations.
Bone Diver. That's interesting name, considering why we're bringing it up.
What's wrong with underwater archaeology? Perfectly reasonable father-daughter outing.
Now, here we go. Song of the Lioness is by Tamara Pierce. Fantasy author who's been writing since the 80s, at least.
And you render a ghost.
Excellent question. Next question.
I mean, it could just be a literal sack that's got a ghost in it. Go with that. Going for a sort of mimic you kind of situation. Yeah, misses it.
Tamara Pierce Love in the chat.
Neat.
She has some good books. Also, unlike some other young adult and or child fantasy authors, she isn't a transphobic piece of shit.
Hooray! We love to hear it.
Yeah, there was... I don't remember if it was an interview or an AMA, but so the Song of the Lioness books, I believe, were written in the 80s. She's written more in that universe since then. But I believe there was a talk once where she said that if she had had the words for it, she probably would have described Alana as being bigender. Because Alana very much straddles that line of woman and manhood, masculine and feminine, and it's not just because of the hiding out as a woman, learning how to be a knight thing. That's just more inherent to her. But this was the 80s, and she didn't have that vocabulary, so it didn't really come up.
Ooh, face. Yeah, I think my Sorry, I think my internet messed up a bit there. There was some frame man. I had to reconnect to Magma. There was a whole thing going on. Sorry.
Your internet hates Tamara Pierce.
Rude. Demand a refund. I will send you the refund in the post. So there is a 30% chance it won't arrive. So what do people have planned for the forthcoming week?
Got a letter of reference to write. Got a student who's looking to go to grad school.
Mhm. That's neat. I like that. Want to finish commissions and get back to writing, maybe finish 50 face goal. Just ticking off things already. Work and a birthday and trying to keep yourself motivated to keep your brain content. You're kind of one. If you want me to send you nice things, let me know. I will send you nice things. Actually, don't bother. I will send you nice things.
And there's a 30% chance that it'll not get there.
Digitally. I will send you nice things digitally. But miss, what if I can make my work stuff also nice things for you? I have, after all, higher tier commission examples to make.
Don't make me grab the GIF, you two.
Your OCs are under copyright or something. I mean, technically, yes. You do have the copyright over them. And you have the right to deny the ability for people to make merchandising and so on and so forth.
Yeah, but that's not really relevant for, like, one-off pieces of art. Especially if they're not going to be monetized.
Gonna go full Disney about them. Well, then I'll make parodies. With my new parody character, VE. And, Gil. And, Julep and Thorn. And Nicholas.
Parody law is still just really funny to me, because basically it boils down to you can copy them as long as you're making fun of them.
Yes, yeah. Has to be explicit parody. That's one of my favorite things about parody is the sort of odd specificity of, like, it's gotta be... You've got to be taking the mick. You've got to be taking the piss, and you have to be able to prove that in court. It's like a really weird thing. There's a pickle. Pickle has arrived. He has just woken up and would like scrub. I don't know if you can hear me because I'm walking under a desk.
Yeah, it's echoey though.
No? He wants to go out and have food. 1 second. I'll zoom out so you can see cool faces. There was a cat who was legally obliged to be under a desk. Anyway, she has been let out and now has access to food, including chicken.
Yes, but I do like the various layers of incorporealness you've got between these three ghosts.
Yeah. You have ghosts, you have someone who isn't a ghost in a ghost costume, and you have something that is a ghost in something that isn't a ghost. In a non-ghost costume, if you will. A ghost in a ghost, a non-ghost in a ghost, and a ghost in a non-ghost. If that clears it up. Is the word ghost meaningless now?
Makes sense to me.
Had a teen today bemoaning someone in their life saying it's really very simple. She wants to be a boy, so she's changing her name, but like her name is Juno, she changed it to Juniper. Juno is way more masculine. They want an OC named Juniper and they want it to be so hella mask. Hell yeah. Juno more? I mean,
I would say no, considering where the name Juno comes from. Considering Juno is literally the Roman name of Hera, the goddess of marriage and childbirth.
see, funnily enough, the only time I've encountered anyone called Juno is in the film Juno. A film starring Elliot Page, who is a trans man. So...
That's really funny, actually.
I just had to look that up to make sure I hadn't invented that memory, but no, it's true.
Is Juno playing the star? Or is Elliot Page playing the star in Juno?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh god, from 2007, yeah.
Yeah, pre-transition.
Elliot Page stars as the title character pre-transition.
I hope they do a sequel called Juniper.
But yeah, no. If a guy wants to be called Juno, I'm not gonna argue, trans or otherwise. But objectively, Juno comes from the name of a goddess of childbirth, which it makes it fairly non-masculine as far as most people are concerned. Meanwhile, Juniper is... what's the etymology of that one?
I mean, Juniper's a berry, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a type of plant.
Which, traditionally... I don't know. Juniper reminds me of Jupiter as well. But...
Well, I mean, that's because it's, like, a couple letters difference, but, like, it's a, like, coniferish tree, and yeah, usually it's the juniper berries that people know of, the little blue ones.
Cypress fan.
I think
I love their
it's
songs.
I think it's an African tree? I'd have to look. You know what, I'm just gonna look. Yeah, Africa, Asia, Central America. In Tibet. In the Himalayas. What is the etymology? Does this even have the etymology? I mean, as far as I'm concerned, there's a long, healthy tradition of like various trans folks, especially non-binary folks, just naming themselves after some random tree. So, like, good on this guy.
Hell yeah. Make gin from it. With the juniper tree. You laugh, but there's half a chance that's the etymology, you know?
You're not wrong.
You know, I learned recently that there's quite a lot of conflicting theories, but the earliest recorded evidence we have for...
I didn't think I'd live
we
to
have a
see
heckle.
it, but for once they've given us something other than second-rate entertainment.
What's that?
Third-rate entertainment.
I forgot what I was saying. Yes, the earliest written record we have of OK is from so I think it's Boston newspapers, where there was just a fad for a while of making as many abbreviations as you can, almost none of which caught on. But also some of those abbreviations as part of this fad followed pronunciation more than spelling. And so OK, in the first recorded instance we have, meant all clear. As in all clear, OK. And then I think a presidential candidate in America took that as like a slogan or something, and that's how it caught on. It's like, etymology is really stupid sometimes.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you realize that like words are made up by human beings, and human beings are like just kind of silly sometimes.
Sometimes.
Apparently, juniper, Middle English, from late Middle English, which then came from Latin, literally the Latin name Juniperus. Let's see if we can break down the Latin.
Well, the Visigoths had a try. No one here has ever been silly even once. Not a single.
Apparently, in the Latin part of it means
This is getting
reed.
tiresome. Amuse me. Flail around some more.
I guess it's sort of like a reed tree, which sort of makes sense given the general shape I'm aware of those trees taking.
I wonder whether we get any other words from that. That's my favourite part of etymology, going, oh, those words are connected. It makes sense now. Guardian and warden are just the same word. It's just one's French, and one's Norman French.
In either case, as always, you can blame the French.
Yeah, it's ghosty. The Kingdom Host, he's gonna knock you out. It's very chill. The game is also very chill until it isn't. More face, yeah, more. Every time I zoom out, it's a different face. I just want you to know that. There's always a different face. Face to face. Face, not a ghosty. What is a drawing of a face if not the ghost of the face it actually is or was? Not an easy one. You're doing well. I like it. I feel like I know them, which is what's called prejudice.
No.
Bet sent you that one. She didn't go easy on you. Fair enough. That's part of the challenge, isn't it? It's part of, get used to drawing a variety of faces. Ooh. Now eggs. Did eggs again. Making the most of the challenge. Schlonge.
I mean, I think one of these days you should try to just draw the whole time with eggs.
I'm trying to come up with an artistic movement that you can put the word egg into that doesn't sound unpleasant.
Good luck with that.
It's harder than you think. Saltavello's gonna summon Mirror, and after a pause, go, does your father know you're here? No, it's Mirror, it's fine. Mirror gets up to shenanigans.
Expressionist, okay.
Okay, that's better than what I had.
That works.
Expressionist, yeah, that's good. We've got a winner. No more entries required. That's not the button I wanted. Go away. Renaissance. Oh, an egg sauce.
Miss, I'm gonna start heckling the chat.
Cubexism. These are all better than the one I had, though. This is the thing you need to understand. Neoclegsicle? Turns out there's loads. Turns out it was my imagination that was at fault. As always. Clegg is just a bug? Is it? I don't want Nick Clegg. Clegg or horsefly. Well, there you go.
Ah, the worst flies.
See, the funny thing is, it says here, horseflies and deerflies are true flies. And that's funny because usually when you put horse in front of something, it means fake. Horse chestnut, not a real chestnut. Horseradish, not a real radish. Horsefly, true fly. Anyway, I'm going to be done with that picture. What do I do now? What can I draw? What do people... Does anyone want to see anything? February, yes.
Do you have any more?
It's February.
Oh yeah, February. Speaking of February, I'm waiting for forms from work so I can do my taxes.
Oh yeah, I need to pay my thing. Always forget you need to file them and get them all sorted out by the end of January. But then you have like 3 more months to pay them. I always try and do it straight away, but I forgot. Ooh, taxes. Anyway, my commissions are up.
In the United States, assuming you aren't doing something where you do it on like a quarterly rotation, which is usually only a thing for businesses, whether they be small or large. For individuals who just work for a company, it's usually just a once a year. And usually you have until like usually mid-April to get your stuff organized. But also our tax system is a giant mess, so they kind of have to give us more time to sort it out.
Yeah, I find it strange that you have such a wide, sort of massive tax system that's very pervasive, but also doesn't do anything thing to make the process simpler? It's like it's already gonna check it all.
Yeah, well, that's because of like individual, like various companies that sell quote unquote tax filing services, basically making that a pain in the butt to do. Like, legitimately, the only reason why taxes should be complicated is if you're getting either you are running a business that has like a lot of moving parts, in which case fair. If you are getting income from multiple states, in which case the individual states you have to deal with the taxes of the individual states as well as the whole federal, in which case that's going to be a little complicated. But again, that's usually only a problem if you're running a business. 3, if you are getting stuff from like international business. And I guess 4, if you've got a lot of income coming in from... Oh, what's the word I want to use here? Basically investment type stuff.
Yeah.
But most people don't fall under those categories.
But
Again, unless they are running a business.
the vast majority of my time doing my taxes is reading questions and going, nope. Nope, and this is not investment. I did not invest in this particular annuity scheme between these particular dates under the name of this particular branch of this particular part of the country and or the Isle of Man. There's just so many clauses like that you have to just take note.
stolen color in that hair.
Hair? Ooh.
So much hair.
So much hair. All of the squiggles. Which I personally think is something that Bear needs practice with, is squiggles. They don't have anywhere near enough squiggles in their drawings. If I had to pick one little nitpick with your work, it's just so minimalist. According to study that is good.
We're going to be so minimalist, we're going to remove all of the ankles. They're not needed.
No ankles. Ankles are banned. The fine tradition of the Muppets.
Yeah, I think they don't have ankles for a different reason. That, or you can argue that some of them have more ankles than expected.
Well, if you want to be like that.
Because some Muppets, like the Swedish Chef, are manned by 2 puppeteers.
Yeah. Look at that. Oh. Everybody look at the it's gone.
I mean, technically on your end, you can turn that layer on
I
so
could.
it's viewable for you.
I could make it my layer. Pretend I made it. I am
Well,
the Lord of the
there's that as
Squiggles.
well, but like, there's a thing where it's like you either have it onto like the setting that the owner has the layer, or you can turn other people's layers off on your end, so everyone else can still see the layer, but you can't see that layer. Or the other way around, you can make it so that you can see the layer even if the owner has
I did this. It was me. I did this. Luna scram. Let her scram. 'Tis the prerogative. Oh, this is just a random incidental thing. And fairly certain this doesn't count as racism, but Bear, I did in my newsletter today. What is up on my thing? And you can read now for free. The recommendation that I did at the end, I normally do like little creators and things, but inexplicably rediscovered some stuff that I haven't seen for years and just had a really nice time, so I wanted to share it. Bear, are you familiar with the Umbilical Brothers? I feel like of all of us there is a chance. No? Okay, that's interesting. I have recommended them. They are... I described them in the newsletter as the closest thing you'll get on stage to Calvin and Hobbes. They're like comedy, mime, vocal performance. Strange. It's difficult to explain, but it's just like two people with a weird, wacky imagination who somehow manage to make it look like things are happening when they're not. It's strangely... When I first watched it, I was like, oh, this is entertaining, they're funny, they're pretending to do stuff, and like many years later I watch it and go, it is amazing how well they are communicating that thing that isn't there being there. And they're also just very funny, so you should watch them. But the reason I ask is I believe they are Australian, so... And every video of theirs, the top comments on YouTube are of people going, you were my childhood, I remember you on a show called The Upside Down Show, it was brilliant. So apparently they did a kids show called The Upside Down Show as well. But yeah, I remember watching them on YouTube like 10 years ago and having a lovely time. And then I forgot they existed, and then I've rediscovered them, and I had another lovely time. But also with an appreciation for the physical skill and planning and forethought of how to make it all work. February lost track of dates. Even they're affected by January's magic. I imagined February's attitude to dates is, that's the day we're doing blank. That's the day that meeting's happening. That's the day that presentation's happening, so on and so forth. And they're like, wait, it's February! Is it two guys? It is two guys. The Umbilical Brothers. I don't believe they're brothers, but I might be wrong. They're also occasionally joined by their roadie. Yeah, most of the clips I've found have been on, like, different TV shows over in, presumably, Australia. So I had assumed they were somewhat well-known enough that you might know them. One's gormless, the other bullies him. Sometimes. I guess the general persona is one of them is a bit sillier and one of them... It's I mean, that's... To be fair, that's most, like, silent film duos, isn't it? If you think.
Yeah.
They're carrying on a long tradition there.
I mean, like, even the who's on first bit involves one person playing the straight man and the other one just sort of saying nonsense.
But yeah, one of the clips I shared in the newsletter is the whole scene played out of just like somebody who washes somebody's car window and asks for money, and the driver keeps trying to get away, and they keep trying to catch up and stuff. But in that one, they're the other way around. So the one that's sort of being bullied is the person who normally plays the straight man. So they do, they change it up a lot. Let you give in to sleep. Have a good sleep. Sleep well. Thanks for chatting. 'Twas lovely. Sleep on, Luna. Just to see what happens. Another face. This one looks like someone, but I don't know who. Right. What else do I draw? No, come up blank, so for the moment we will just watch Bear draw.
Could always draw a bear.
Could do. Got 370 words from this chapter. They also must go. Away into the wind. Goodbye, Bear. Thanks for chilling. And good job with words. Hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you, I mean, this is my second attempt. Deleted the first one. Glad it's at least recognizable.
It's the nose.
The nose! And get a big schnoz. And the frown. I've had plenty of experience with the frown drawing Malachi, so it that much I can get down. Mal and Theo could share a good scowl. Also, may become apparent as I'm doing this that I do not know how to draw a bear, let alone from behind.
You're trying your best.
And that's what's embarrassing.
Embarrassing.
Okay, it was worth it.
I don't know whether to laugh or feel sorry for him.
He wanted to make us laugh.
I feel sorry for him.
You got a heckle.
Joke's on you, Bear. I couldn't hear shit.
One day I'll set it up. I did try and look into like audio routing software, like digital inputs and outputs and stuff like that, but there's no one wants to do that for free apparently.
Yeah. On one hand, kind of understandable.
It's one of those things I just imagine would have been easy. But evidently that means I don't know enough about it. You know, there's the temptation in the back of my head to go, well, how hard could it be?
I mean, my understanding of when it comes to like audio channels in Windows machines especially is if you think it's simple, it's probably not, because Windows machines are stupid sometimes.
Yeah. One of the positives and the negatives of Windows is they tend to make things as backwards compatible as possible, and as a consequence, carry around decades of baggage of poorly made code.
I mean, I'd rather have that than what they're currently doing, which is making new baggage, poorly made code.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, congratulations, somehow you've broken Notepad.
Always a good sign.
Because that's the thing that happened with one of the most recent Windows 11 updates. It's like, it's fucking Notepad. How did you break Notepad?
Well, they're adding AI to it for a start.
Yeah, well, and that's part of the problem. Putting AI in all of their shit and making it shittier. And the code they're using, according to them, is like 30% written by AI, and it's like, yeah, no shit.
No wonder it's breaking.
Like, there was a thing I watched by a gal who's a comp sci educator, who's basically doing like an outreach thing, talking about some stuff, and some of the AI stuff did come up. And it's like, cool, with all of the research we've been doing as far as using AI to code, it's really only useful, like makes anything of actual worth if you break down your code into like individual like little pieces of like, okay, if I have to do this process as a whole, what are each of the individual pieces of that, and the individual pieces of that, and the individual pieces of that? In which case, it's like, okay, cool, you've already just done all the work of pseudo in the first place in order to make the AI write the actual code. So you might as well just write it yourself. But also, apparently, there was a study where they looked at some not like really advanced programmers, sort of like minimally, like they've got some experience, but it's not like years and years. And basically, the coders, when they were using the AI tools, reported that they felt they did their work with 20% more efficiency, but when they objectively looked at what was done, it was 20% less efficient than if they had just did it by hand or with the already existing tools. So, yeah. Do I think you could make a expert system language model that can take ideas and information and turn it more into code? Potentially. I mean, compilers exist, and compilers basically take what you've typed in and translate it down to machine code to figure out how can we make this particular machine do what you've told me to do. So something that takes human language and translates it to higher order language, which then gets translated to machine code, not out of the possibility. It doesn't exist yet. It objectively does not exist yet.
That's all very well. But if they think they can sell it,
Yeah, and they wouldn't be the first company to go, cool, I'm going to sell you snake oil and try and run away with the bag.
gonna be your last one? Well, it's looking very good already. And it really
Very
looks like
strong
someone.
Four faces today. I don't think you can say, oh, it's already pretty impressive what you've been doing.
Just a bit. Just a smidge. Also, slightly annoyingly, OBS has changed the background for its canvas to be exactly the same color as the background to the magma canvas, so I can't tell if I have perfectly centered what's on the screen or not, or if there's just a random black line at the side. Behind the scenes issues. I'm still trying to think who this reminds me of. Reminds me of someone.
I mean, I'm sure if you ask nicely, Bear can post a picture of who it is.
It's probably not anyone I know, but I'm trying to think of the person I think it is.
I just know I'm not going to be of any help to you. I'm very bad at recognizing well-known celebrity faces. I will say, and it probably just has to do with probably the fact that it's a straight-on face and the way the hair is poofed out like that. This is reminding me of some of the promo images I've seen of some of the actors from the Lion King stage musical. I think it might just be because of the face full on, and then the hair around is sort of similar to how they do the lion's mane for the characters that don't have just like an extra head on top of their head.
Okay, knowing me, I'm way off, but I'm confident enough in this prediction that I'm going to actually try and look for the reference picture. Like I say, probably wrong. Oh, you have no idea who the actor is.
Yeah.
Well, we might be able to compare. I get less confident the more I scroll. Yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, some pictures this looks like identical, in other pictures this looks nothing like the person at all. I think you've done them justice. What if I found somebody who looks more like this than the reference picture?
That would be really funny.
I doubt that. Thoughts and thinks.
He's thinking. He's thinking. Let's see. Does Kay have a little cactus?
Yes.
Cute.
For reference, a very long time ago, I drew a picture. Well, not a very long time ago, less than a year. I drew a picture of Kay giving Miss a cactus, and Miss found it again earlier today, and it cheered them up. So I thought I'd draw it again. But not again. It's a different picture. Calling it. It looks good. Look at those contours and shapes and shades. It's good. You draw faces good. I don't know if anyone's ever told you that. 4? More than 4. I see 5 layers. No, I see. Hang on. How many layers do I see?
Some of these are like two bits
Yeah.
for the same picture. Like one is the basic bit of it and the other one is the shading. But yeah, I think there's 4 faces in there.
I feel like there were more than 4. Then again, famously, I can't count. So... But yeah, do we get to see the reference, or are we? is it going to forever be a mystery?
So 11 and 11 copy go together. 9 and 9 copy go together. 5 and 5 copy go together. So that's 3, and then 3 and 3 copy to go together. So yeah, that's 4 faces.
Makes sense. Yeah, no, that's not the person I was thinking of at all. Oh, yeah, I see it. I see it.
I mean, honestly, Bear, like, really the two biggest things that are like different between this photo and what you've drawn here is, one, you've got a color palette limitation, which makes it a little hard to tell like what's going on at various places. And I think it's really just the eye shape that's off a bit.
Eyes are always the hardest. You notice all the subtle differences in eyes. Also, just for reference, this was the person I was thinking of. That's Sophie Okanedo. I don't know how to pronounce it. The actress. She's been in a bunch of things, including Inside Number 9, which is why I know her. Gee, cool. Yeah, anyway. I reckon you draw a nice thing. That's a cool face. It's bedtime now. Hurrah! Except for Ragdoll. But for anyone... I mean,
Yes,
if Ragdoll wishes, I'm not going to stop you.
I mean, it's like 3:40 in the afternoon, and I've done nothing this morning that's making me go, I need to just take a nap. I have sometimes taken a nap at 3:40 in the afternoon, usually because I feel ill, and I don't feel ill, so...
Yeah, I was going to say that's the... that's the normal impetus for a 3 o'clock nap. Impetus. So yeah, hope people had nice times. I think everyone's probably gone, except us now. So, but if you're lurking, hi, hope you enjoyed. Or if you're watching the VOD, hi, hope you enjoyed. We will return not with Silksong, because that's done, it's over, finished, finito. In fact, I will fade out the hollow music thematically. It's finally done. And we can now move on.
We finally found an ending.
We found an ending, a good ending. I liked it. I'm happy with it. Yee. And we will return with Schlock. There's some Schlock to be played, and we're gonna play it. Hey, look, cactus. Yeah. We've already begun the Schlock. You love the Theo so much. Again, the one thing I don't think I drew very well. Well, the bear's worse, I think, but I'm glad you like the Theo. I will draw more Theo for you at some point. Yeah, so Sherlock Times on Tuesday, and also Wednesday probably, and then Saturday.
A time.
It's gonna be a time. It's got quizzes and everything. We've got to pay attention. Quizzes. Got to pay attention to the cutscenes that don't have subtitles. It's fine. So yeah. Yeah, new video, part 2 of that video that's on screen, is out on the YouTubes, and there's a newsletter came out, so you can go read that if you want on my website. I've also linked it in socials and such. Anything anyone else wants to plug or share? No.
I'm good.
All good. We'll say bye then. Bye.
Bye.